Hello? Hello? Can you guys hear me? I've never done this before. Yes? Is there an echo? Hi. This is so weird that you guys are talking about We Don't Talk About Bruno because I was just talking about We Don't Talk About Bruno to a friend. Hi. Hello. I wasn't sure if you guys would be awake. I could not figure out a good time to do this. So, if anyone is from like Pacific Standard Time, you guys are insane. It's like 2 a.m. But so where are you guys all in Europe? The Philippines? Hey, I just figured I could talk about books. Is that okay? If you guys have any questions, I feel like I can't. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hi guys. Um I can't even read them. They're going so fast. I'm gathering Europe. I see a Kuwait. I see Pakistan, Singapore. Oh my god. Hello, I saw Seattle. Californians, what are you doing awake? I genuinely thought I wasn't going to have any West Coast kids on here, but here you are. Oh my god, do we have like someone from every country? This is insane. Hello everyone. What am I currently reading? I saw that question. What am I currently reading? Nothing. I just finished A Firekeeper's Daughter, which was I'll talk about it in another book, but it was okay. And I just read the first page of Our Violent Delights, right? Yeah, These Violent Delights. What is it? Yeah. Excuse me, Our Violent Ends. Look at me not knowing my Shakespeare. I am reading this guy. So, wish me luck. I haven't had any spoilers, so don't you dare. But yeah, that's what I'm reading. I have so many books that I need to read. I have some physical ones that like I can just put off. I don't have to return them, but I have a ton of books that I actually have to return. So I'm freaking out. So instead of reading, I wanted to talk to you guys to make myself more stressed tomorrow. So, is everyone reading Our Violent Ends? Oh my god. I know I'm going to be very sad at the end. There's no like I mean it's a tragedy. So, Gilded by did Marissa Meyer write all of the what's it called? The Lunar Chronicles or whatever that had you know what I'm talking about? Cinder? Is that the same person? I just got her book Heartless. That is one of the books that is on hold that I need to read like tomorrow. So okay, yeah. Well, I really liked the Lunar Chronicles, so I will read whatever. What do I think of the Shadow and Bone cast? The new one. Okay, low key, a little mad that Wylan doesn't have red hair, but the guy who's playing Wylan looks unreal. Like when they showed him, I was shocked. I was like, is this a real person or is this like AI or something? So yeah, I am excited. I wonder what they're gonna do. I don't know. But yes. And she just got engaged, Leigh Bardugo, or married. Leigh Bardugo just got married. So, hey. I don't think they're gonna dye his hair. I think he's gonna be a brunette. And yeah, Nikolai's Irish. What a thought. Maybe I shouldn't get into this on a live, but I like high key disagree with the people who are trying to cancel him. Like, I thought that was so to jump. Okay, so basically, like for people who weren't alive in that time, there were a lot of like RAPE jokes. They were not good, but they were like very commonly seen in like Arrested Development and like all these different popular comedy shows at the time. So like 15-year-old boys would often make jokes that reference that, like South Park would. It was just like in the cultural context, not a weird thing for a 15-year-old to say. And someone found 2 tweets in which he used the word RAPE. And then they found one reference of him using the F word, not fuck, the really bad one, referring to gay people. And like, once again, it's a 15-year-old Irish kid, one reference of it. I can't imagine expecting someone 10, 11 years later, whatever it was, to apologize for that, like to remember and to apologize for it. And what got me more upset than seeing him use those words was there were people on Twitter saying that him making those jokes and using that word equals he's a homophobic rapist. And that, as someone who has been sexually assaulted, like, oh my God, it made me so angry that like using the word rape in a joke equals you are the same as someone who raped someone. I got really livid. So yeah, I 100% still support Nikolai. I think that the reaction to him was disgusting, and I hope that in 10 years, all of those people make public apologies for their actions, because I think that people looking back in 10 years on what they said would feel the same vitriol that they felt for him. So exactly. In Ireland, it's like a completely different feeling. It's still not a good word to use, obviously, but it was just very, like, it was very clear that the people who were saying those things had no reference for the culture that was happening at that time. Like, literally, Arrested Development, one of the most popular and beloved shows, made a joke, like a season-long joke about mispronouncing therapist and instead saying the rapist. Like, it was just in culture. Isn't good, but isn't something that I think people, I don't know. Ugh. So starting out strong with this live. But yeah, I am very excited for the new cast, and I wish them really well. You know, it sucks that his kind of first big role the next day was met with such anger, but yeah. So yeah, we went from Heartless to this. Yeah, I'm really excited to read Heartless. But yeah, it was just like a different time, and I think that holding people, literally finding 3 tweets out of like how, like, over a decade of tweets, finding 3 that didn't fit the 2022 box, you know, um, is honestly good for him. Like, if he was active on Twitter as a 15-year-old with like that kind, like clearly having those kind of jokes in his repertoire, great that you only found 3, honestly. So yeah, I'm just hoping he's okay. I'm hoping the whole cast is okay, because that must have been so stressful for them. So yeah, honestly, everybody would be, huh. I'm not gonna get any further into it. That is my hot take. Cancel me for that one, I guess. But what did I think of It Ends With Us? Oh, maybe this isn't gonna be my only hot take of the live. I'm gonna talk more in depth. Actually, I have a lot to say about It Ends With Us. Hi, Mikey. um, I read It Ends With Us, and I had kind of a funny, not great reaction to it, like to the message. I thought that the story was fine, but at first I thought that the message was not good. And then I realized that, how do I explain this without giving anything away? So, It Ends With Us is talking about a cycle of things that happen, and it tends to be stuff that is passed down from parent trauma goes to the kids, and the kids grow up to have that same trauma and inflict it on their kids, et cetera, et cetera. And I thought that she was kind of making this big blanket statement of like, if you just avoid that, you stop the trauma. But I realized, like, when you're writing a book, you don't need to be writing a blanket statement. You can just be telling the story of one person. And if that worked for one person, good. I kind of had like that little light bulb moment. I was personally trying to think like, oh, the moral of this story is applying to the like whatever 10 billion people on this planet. But I was like, no, actually it's really just the story of one person and like we all live different lives. So yeah, I think I still have like mixed feelings about it, but I feel better about it now. And I'll go into it more in my January wrap up, which I was supposed to film today and clearly didn't. So here I am. I'm giving off major Pam. I always get Pam from The Office vibes. I don't know why, but thank you. Have I read Pachinko? I loved Pachinko. Yes, I read Verity. Oh my God, there are so many things I want to talk about. I read Verity. I will talk about it in my next video. Pachinko. I was very intimidated by Pachinko and I almost didn't read it. I put it off for a really long time, but when I did read it, I could not put it down. And it's so good. And they're making a drama about it with Lee Min-ho, which is going to be nuts. So I'm so excited. So excited. What's it called? The Mountains Sing. Let me write that down. Thank you. Adding to my wait, I'm doing this because my TBR is already too long. Why are you guys giving me recommendations? Okay, The Mountains Sing. Well, I'll write that one down. Don't give me any more recommendations. Stop. I'll block you. Yes, please read Pachinko. I mentioned this in the very beginning. You might have missed it, but right before this started reading Our Violent Ends. I am one page in, so nobody say anything. And I love Just Kids by Patti Smith. Oh my God, it's one of my favorite books. It's one of those books that came to you right at the right time. Amazing. And no, I will not be reading Dune because let me tell you, our house is getting taken over by Kurt's Dune books. They are in Korean, so I will not be reading them. But aren't the covers cool? So he's on the 5th one, and we don't have any bookshelf space. So I just read the Wikipedia plot line to keep up with him. I don't plan on reading it. No, sorry. Yeah, they're really pretty and they had this really weird, so like if you don't know about Dune, there's this thing called spice, which is used for a bunch of different things, but mainly for anyway, there's a thing called spice and it's supposed to be kind of like cinnamon, but there's this thing in Korea called lemona, which is like powdered vitamin C and it tastes like lemons. And so for some reason they decided to like market that as spice. And so when you bought Dune books, they would give you free lemona. So I like lemona. So it was lovely. I liked it. Yeah, everyone says that the Korean version, the Korean edition is prettier. Pretty sure BTS has been in ads for everything, but I would guess Lemona. I would guess that they did. Any shorter reading recommendations? Oh no. Oh no. I don't think so. I started using Storygraph. Like I'm actually trying to use it this year. And so Storygraph. So if you're asking about my Goodreads, I don't really use Goodreads anymore. It's clunky. So is Storygraph a little bit, but like at least this gives you cool stats. So, if you look at page number, like I always read blue is 300 pages and up. So I don't really read short books. My top moods right now are mysterious, emotional, and dark. So yay for me reading happy books this year as usual. Yeah, I like Storygraph. So if you want to, I don't know if you can follow people on there. I don't know what the deal is, but I am just Cari Cakes, no space. I don't know what that means. If you can find me, I don't know. I don't know how things work, but that's that. I am. I have not read that. I've never even heard of it. So I'll think about it. Storygraph is like Goodreads. It's newer, so there might not be as many reviews, but it gives you a lot of statistics, which is really cool. Like it tells you the genres and stuff. And I believe it is started by and owned by a Black woman. So we love supporting Black female-owned businesses. So yeah. Storygraph's a little clunky, but it's better than Goodreads, I would say, because at least Storygraph gives you cool little pie charts that tells you that you are insane. So, oh, you picked up The Love Hypothesis? Have you read The Love Hypothesis yet? Who is it? Oh, let me find her on Instagram. Shoot, my book Instagram. Where did it go? There is a bookstagrammer, is that the word? That I follow that I love. Oh no, I can't find it anymore. Well, I'll find her. Wait, it's in memes. It's in a highlight. There is a creator that I follow who makes the funniest book reels. And what was I even saying? Oh, she made one. She mostly is like me and reads fantasy and stuff like that. But she started reading The Love Hypothesis, and books for K. Books, FORKAY. And she just made a reel the other day being like, why did no one tell me about the romance genre? So the Love Hypothesis is bringing us all into the same boat. So. Would I review any YouTuber books? I don't know any YouTubers that have written books other than Jade from Unjaded Jade, but it's a study guide. And I have passed my super studying era. So okay, so you can follow me on Storygraph. Cool. It's always, all of my links are always in the description box if you're ever interested. So if you want to follow my dead Goodreads, you can. I do know Artisan Geek. I love her content. I love that she does so much Japanese stuff because I used to study Japanese, and so she kind of like kicks me in the butt to get back into that. So, can you review booktubers? The only booktuber I consistently watch and like have watched for a really long time is Cindy, and I love Cindy. 5 stars, 6 out of 5 stars. Oh, and I watch Elias too, and I love Elias. We have like 9 times out of 10, we have the exact same opinions. So it's good because he reads the books, and I'm like, well, I don't need to read that one if he hates it. So Kurt is having dinner with our friend. So I got to have sushi because he doesn't like sushi. So I had sushi for dinner by myself. Going wild. Celebrity books? I don't keep up on that maybe. I like don't know who. Yeah, Elias hates the binding. Well, you know what? Joke's on him because I hated his favorite book, Summer Sons. And we're going to talk about that in our next video. So like I said, 9 times out of 10, But yeah, we don't have exactly the same taste. Maybe he'll come around someday. But oh yeah, Jack. Yeah, he's friends with Jade. So it's like we have this weird little YouTuber circle. I'm like 1 degree of separation away from him. And I love his content. He makes me want to be smarter. What is the binding about, Lydia? Watch my favorite books of 2021 video because I can't talk about it anymore or else I will spoil it. So sorry. I've talked about it so many times that it's just going to come out. Spoilers are going to come out if I mention it again. So is the King of Scars duology worth reading if you like the Grishaverse? It's not worth reading. Have I read The Iron Widow? No, and it is high on my list. It was on like everybody's list of favorite series or whatever. Or is it a standalone? Anyway, I've only heard good things. So, yes. Am I still working on my book? Yeah, I actually wrote this morning. Can you imagine? I haven't been writing. It's just very hard. I have like so many other things to do. And so when I do have time, I just don't want to write. So yeah, I actually wrote and didn't like delete things. Like I actually produced new work today. So that was good. So yeah, I'm just plugging along. I doubt it will see the light of day for maybe a decade, but we'll see. Will you start Wheel of Time? Okay, I don't know anything about Wheel of Time. I've heard chatter. I haven't actually absorbed any facts about it. I know that one of my friends is very excited for it. But other than that, I don't know anything. Sadly. TXT has a webtoon? Tell me more. Link me. Do something. Yeah, I'm out of the loop. I don't know anything. Ooh, you just started Shadow and Bone? Good job. I'm happy for you. Oh, what is your opinion on this for book reviews? Because I got a comment about this that made me kind of stop and think. When I talk about a book and I say that it's an enemies to lovers book, is that spoilery? Does that feel spoilery-ish to you? I never thought it did, but somebody commented like, "Hey, that's kind of a spoiler." And I was like, "Oh no." I feel like books are usually promoted. Oh my god. Okay, so everyone's no. Okay. Okay. The chat box is just like, "No." Um I feel like books are usually kind of promoted that way as like enemies to lovers because everybody loves enemies to love. Well, a lot of people do. So like, yeah. Okay. Slightly spoilery. Okay. Okay. I get it. I think that if I'll try and gauge whether or not it's very obvious. Yeah, I'll try and gauge it. Okay, noted. Thank you, everyone. That chat box just saying no was very scary. What am I reading now? We can go through my current TBR. So I am 1 page into Our Violent Ends. I also have Ink and Bone by Rachel Kane. Many people suggested the Great Library series. So I have that out from the library. I have the first book of Outlander. I have The Last Story of Mina Lee by Nancy Ju-Young Kim. I have The Girl Who Saved the King of Sweden, which I'm not sure I'm going to read. I just got it from the library because it was out. And then what is this? I have The Maid, got it from Book of the Month. I have Reckless Girls by Rachel Hawkins. And I just bought this um, Beasts of a Little Land by, I don't know how you would say this. Why isn't it written in Hangul? That's such a strange way to write your name. Okay, Juhia, that's not right, but Kim. How are you thinking we say that? Hey? But the A. Anyway, excited to read that. Not gonna lie, the cover's what got me. So here I am. How do I manage to read so many books at the same time? I don't have any life. That's all I do. So, but no, I do read relatively quickly. My attention span is kind of bad, so I know that if I take long breaks in between reading, I kind of forget it. And so I don't enjoy the book as much. So I actually try and read books as quickly as possible just to like stay in the world, if that makes sense. I feel like I kind of lose the vibe, right? I haven't read Beach Read, but I enjoyed People We Meet on Vacation. So, tips for replacing screen time with reading. There is an app which I just found out isn't free anymore, apparently. So I'm really sorry if it's a paid app, but I use an app called Forest. Oh, this isn't. I'm like looking for my camera. I'm using my web camera. It's an app called Forest, and you can like set a timer for how long you want your phone to be off. And so I usually set it and then like throw my phone somewhere where I can't see it. So that helps, but also I'm not perfect and I'm constantly checking my phone. So, yeah. Yeah, the app stresses me out too because if you touch your phone, it like kills the tree that you were trying to grow. So, it's very yeah, I'm distraught when I use it. So, I don't read manga. I don't know why, but it's really hard for me to get into it. I think because I just like a lot more text than I like artwork. Does that make sense? I don't know. Um, I haven't I haven't really gotten into other than, I guess, a graphic novel like Watchmen. But other than that, I'm a book girl, not manga book girl. I did read Crescent City, and I am impatiently awaiting the next one. And for those of you who watched Our Beloved Summer, speaking of K-dramas, I haven't seen it, but I did go to on it apparently in episode 15, they went to this library, and if you watch my main channel, Cari Cakes, I went to that library and I vlogged it. It's my most recent video. So you can check that out. And I have read Junji Ito. I read Censor. Creepy. He's like horror, capital H. Scary stuff. So I haven't read Ray Bearer yet, but everyone has told me to read it. So I will at some point. But I have also never heard of the Mad Women's Ball. So let me know. What's it about? Cinderella is Dead. What are these books you guys are reading? I have never heard of these books. I wish you luck with the binding. I'm glad you're reading it, but I'm also very sad for your heart. I did not. Is Meteor Garden is the one that became Boys Over Flowers? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that right? But yeah, I definitely like that's when I got into K-pop and K-dramas was really like the golden age of K-dramas. So it was like Boys Over Flowers. What are the other I can't even remember the names of the other ones, but they were all so gloriously bad. I love thrillers. That's like all I used to read. And then I went from, like, fantasy as a kid to thrillers, and then I got dragged back into fantasy, and I'm here. Yeah, Coffee Prince. Why the name Carrie Cakes? What am I drinking? Peppermint tea, candy cane, technically, tea from Trader Joe's. Why the name Carrie Cakes? My friends just started calling me that in high school. People just would be like, "Hey, Carrie Cakes." And when I needed a name for a channel, that's all I could think of. So, yeah, I'd show you the tea bag, but it's one of those celestial seasoning ones, so it's doesn't have a string. So, sorry. Favorite Hawthorne brother? I'm on team Grayson. Is that his name? I'm on team Grayson. He's the only one that's not so annoying and, like, hyper. Like, they're all way too hyper for me. Boys are insane. Did I enjoy The Silent Patient? Did I? I think so. Yeah. As I was reading it, I think I could kind of tell the twist, but, the idea was good. I think Hitchcock would have made a great, adaptation of it, is kind of more what I liked about it. I really like Tana French. If you guys are looking for thriller recommendations, Tana French is an Irish author. She has a series called The Dublin Murder Squad. And you can read it totally out of order. You don't need to read the first one in order to understand any of the characters in the second one. They're all totally different. And yeah, they're great. They're all set in Ireland. They're all really dark, but if you like thrillers. And yeah, I hated The Maidens. I hated The Maidens. Definitely that and, what was Riley Sager's book that I really hated? Those 2 would be my least favorite books of 2021, but I didn't make that video this year. So, yeah, really, really hated that book. Um, I did read Verity. Yes, I will be talking about that in my next video. So, um, Throne of Glass wasn't my fave. Maybe I'm gonna try and reread it because one of my friends really likes it, and we see eye to eye on everything else. So I don't know what I missed. I'd give it another shot, but no, it was just like too much for me. Too much going on, too many characters, too many romance switches, too many battle scenes. So I don't give things stars. I can barely rank things. I literally cannot give anything like 5 out of 5 stars. I can't. Did I read When No One Is Watching takes place in Brooklyn, right? Then yeah, I did. It's kinda like Get Out. White people start taking over the neighborhood. Then yeah, I read it and I liked it. I thought that the ending was weird, to say the least, but I really enjoyed the banter. I was, like, cracking up. The main girl had some one-liners that I was literally laughing out loud. So oh, I haven't read Dance of Thieves, but I got Kindle Unlimited or whatever it's called, and, it is on there for free, so I have it ready to read, but I am panicked just thinking about all of the books that I have. So, I'm not gonna start that one yet. I didn't like Night Circus. I think that, that author's writing is just not for me. It's so beautiful, but it's also like, "What the hell is going on?" You know? So The Night Circus wasn't a fave. House of S blah, blah, blah. House of Salt and Sorrows, I also read and wasn't super into, but I think if I read it again, knowing the ending, I'd like it more. there's a little twist that changes a lot of things. So yeah, I think that's a book that you need to read twice, and I just haven't done it yet. So why am I like out of breath? I have tried to read The Secret History about 1,000,000 times, and I just can't get into it. I can't do it. I'm sorry. Like, every year, I'll give it another try, but, no. Thoughts on the Last Hours series, I can't wait for what is it, Chain of Thorns? I'm gonna lose myself in that book. I'm so excited. What is Kurt's favorite book? That's a good question. Um, I don't know. He reads a lot of like philosophy. He's really interested in philosophy, so he usually goes more towards science fiction, actually. And I'm making a video about Korean authors, like contemporary Korean authors, and he has a book that made him cry. Even as he was telling me about it, he was tearing up. So I will include that once I finally make that video. I have quite a few books to read first in order to make that video. But yeah, you will have a Kurt crying recommendation coming your way. So look forward to that. Comfort books. Howl's Moving Castle. I don't really do comfort. I'm looking at my bookshelf, yeah. I don't really do comfort, unfortunately. I like a lot of pain in my books. Sorry. Yeah, it was interesting. Howl's Moving Castle is also a book. Angie, what are you saying? Yes, of course it's a book. It's like a trilogy. But the first one is really Howl's Moving Castle. So much different from the movie. So delicious, so good. Please read it. I have read House in the Cerulean Sea. It was one of my favorite books of 2020. Ooh, I actually have Frankenstein. Oh, where is it? Oh, is it in my reach? No. My books are like on the ground. I actually do have I have a Frankenstein that is a graphic novel. So I do have a graphic novel, and it is Frankenstein. But it's really cool. So, yes, I do read some classics, but it's usually like Jane Austen and then like Dracula. Frankenstein, apparently. That's all. How's my crochet going? Working on a project right now. Going well. I I read about one page of A Little Life and I put it down, and I don't think I'm gonna read it again. I read a very interesting article about the author. If I find it, I will post it in the description box at some point. But yeah, it was just like very interesting look at her writing. So it made me kind of intrigued, but also kind of like, no, this is not my cup of tea. So yeah. Oh my god, I like can't even read these. I have read one Sally Rooney. I read Conversations with Friends, and I didn't super love it. And I have so many other books to read that I haven't read the other ones, but here we are. How long does it take me to finish a book? If I could, I would read every book in one shot, and that usually takes like 3 to 4 hours. But sometimes, I mean, longer books take longer time. Does that make sense? I use ebooks, so I don't have to disinfect my books. I read ebooks, yeah. Oh no, if you need to study for tests, get off. Tell me, and I will find out how to kick you out of this chat. I don't know how right now, but I could. Go study. a blind book date. Actually, a bookstore near me, it would have been in Korean, so I wouldn't have been able to read it. But a bookstore near me does that. They wrap their books in brown paper, and yeah, you can go on a blind date with a book. So yeah, I have read the Lunar Chronicles, and I really liked them. They were like one of the first like fantasy series that I read, kind of coming back in 2020. So I have read Ninth House. I didn't it was confusing to me because I felt like the story, we like were thrown into a story of like all this stuff had already happened, and we kind of like walked in the middle of the party. So I was a little confused, but I really want to read the second one because I need to know. I need to know what happens. But yeah, very weird. Did you know that Lee actually did go to Yale and she was in a secret society? Like, of course she was. But yeah, it's kind of like based on the truth. So it just made me like Ninth House even more. Can I speak Korean? Yeah, like enough. I can't read novels. Like I don't know where I put them. Oh, on the ground. But like I showed you guys earlier that Kurt is reading Dune in Korean. I couldn't do that. I could read like I have a copy of like Alice in Wonderland. I could read that. But something more substantial, I can't do it. So yeah. A book club. Yeah, I had these grand plans to start a book club, and then like life kind of came down on me. So, maybe someday I would love to, but yeah, not right now. Adding like one more thing to my plate is not great right now. Spanish love deception. I mean, it's not as good as the love hypothesis, but honestly, if you're still riding the high from the love hypothesis, it might make the Spanish love deception even better because it wasn't that good, but I was still like in the romance mood, and so it kind of like, I don't know. Does that make any sense? No. So yeah, maybe. My answer is maybe. Dun, dun, dun. Do I listen to Taylor Swift? Yes. Of course. She was let's look on my Spotify. My Spotify is always linked in the description box, by the way, if you guys ever want to check it out. My 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th most played song of 2021 was Fearless, Taylor's version. So, yeah. I wouldn't call myself a Swiftie because I feel like that is a title that is earned. But I do love me a Taylor Swift. So, what about Harry Styles? I love every song that I have ever heard, but I don't actively listen, if that makes sense. If it comes on, I'm happy. But yes. I have been told that I should read the Brown Sisters trilogy, but I have not yet. But I will. My MBTI is INFJ, which apparently is everybody on YouTube. Like, we're supposed to be super rare, and we are everywhere. We're the introverts that inhabit YouTube, apparently. So, yes, everyone. Same. Me too. I know. INFJs, we just find each other on YouTube. It's very strange. But yeah, I'm an INFJ. I'm a Capricorn Sun, Scorpio Moon, Sagittarius Rising. So, yes, you should study, Dana. Get out of here. Lovingly leave. What's a series I recommend to read? I don't know. Every series. I mean, the Six of Crows duology is my fave. Gilded Wolves was my fave of 2021. I don't think it's the architect. I think it's the old man that looks like a wizard. It's the advocate. Yes, it is the advocate. INFJ. You're at work. Well, Moriko. What are you doing? Oh, Hungarian Sagittarius Gingers, watch out world. Hello. Sziasztok. Yeah, we really are all INFJs. ENFP. What does that even mean? I don't know what any of these mean. But I don't even know what INFJ really means, but here we are. Kurt took some kind of test that took like an hour, and it gave like a really in-depth look into his psyche apparently, and he really liked it, but I don't remember what it was, but it was a very interesting one. Do I speak any other languages? I started with Spanish, and I took 5 years of Spanish, so I can read it, but I'm not very comfortable speaking it. Like, reading and listening is fine. And then I took 3 years of French, which was very easy because I had already taken Spanish. And then I self-taught, and then I took 2 years of Japanese. And then I took 1 year of Korean, but like obviously my Korean is the best because I live here and I use it actively. All the other ones have kind of like faded. What do you mean bed sheets? My sheets are just white. Why do I never have bed sheets? They're right there. I have a white bed. I have been watching RuPaul's Drag Race. That's the only thing I've been watching. I played the saxophone for 3 years, but they're expensive, so I don't actually own one. I only rented one, so I haven't played since middle school, sadly. Say something in Korean. Something is, I would translate that to 뭔가. I'm just being a brat, but yeah. Yeah. I think just by like being alive, I have watched Gilmore Girls, but I don't know the storyline whatsoever. So, yeah. Kurt hates blood types. Anybody brings it up, he gets really mad. He thinks that it's a pseudoscience and it's really stupid. But I'm A positive. Yeah, we had worked together. That's how I met Kurt. And our CEO was like obsessed with blood type, and he would get really mad about it. So I don't plan on living in Korea forever. No. When will we move? I have no idea. I was born in the year of the sheep or the ram. And Kurt is a chicken. I don't remember what he is. Favorite character from a darker shade of magic. Oh my god, no, what's his name? Is it Alucard? What's his name? The like pirate sassy man. He's my favorite. I need to reread that. She's working on the next 3, so I'm kind of losing my mind. I'm very excited. Is YouTube my only work? Yeah, right now, which is terrifying, and I hate it. And it sucks because I'm like, I'm comfortable. Like I make enough money. I'm fine to like have that be my full-time job, but for some reason I have this weird feeling of like guilt 'cause this like, even though I work a lot of hours every day, I don't like, I feel guilty that I'm not trapped in an office from 9 to 5 like I used to be, and I know that so many other people are. So I, like, I'm always on job boards looking for work, but then I don't ever actually apply because 'cause I'm like, "But no, then I can't do YouTube." So it's just yeah, it is my full-time job. I'm not super comfortable with that, but it is what it is right now. And I love it, and I'm so grateful, but, like, part of being grateful is me feeling really guilty about it. So, I used to have a Patreon, but again, with that, like, guilt, I made all of my payment tiers like, I put so much money and work into the tiers that, like, I actually lost money with Patreon because I would, like, charge $1 and then I would send people a postcard handwritten by me every month, but postcards here in Korea like, in America, you can get, like, 10 postcards for 99 cents, but in Korea, postcards are, like, a small piece of art, so postcards are $1. So I would actually lose money writing and then paying for postage. And then I felt bad changing the tiers and stuff. So, like, I just can't take money from people and feel comfortable about it, even if people are, like, willing to give it. So, I don't think I can do Patreon. I just don't think I can do it. I do have a coffee link, um, which in my description box where you can, like, buy me a coffee and basically, like, it PayPals me $3, um, which is about as comfortable as I get with that. Mhm. So, if I figure out how to save this live stream, I will try. If I accidentally delete it, I'm so sorry. Like, I've never done this before, so, um, I hope that I can save this for you, but On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous. Oh my god, so I started reading it. I read, like, half of it, and I just ran out of time. Like, it was a book that I felt needed so much of my attention, like, in a really good way. Like, it was so rich and so poetic that I couldn't just, like, casually read it. And so yeah, I never ended up finishing it because I ran out of time. I had to give it back to the library, and there's a huge holds list for it, like a waiting list. Um, but I loved it. I just didn't have the time to give it. So, fun little spoilers for my next booktube videos. The next one is just gonna be a wrap up of December and January, and I read some books that I have some thoughts on. And then I'm working on a book about or I'm working on a video about, contemporary Korean authors, because a lot of, books that I've read about Korea are written by Korean American authors, and I think there is a slight difference in that content. So what my video is gonna focus on is Korean contemporary authors. And I hope you like it. So I have a lot to read though. I'm not ready. I'm not prepared. So that might come like next month. I don't know. But yeah. I think that Mary Oliver is like one of the poets that like I know I've read their poetry. Like I'm not a huge poetry reader, but I know that I read Mary Oliver. Have read. Yes, Hangang's gonna be on the list. I have read every book of hers except for the White Book. So, post-apocalyptic. God, this is not the time to be reading them, but, Station 11, was really good. One that I read that was terrifying, it's called How We Live Now, and I know that there's a book with that title that there's, like, some kind of nuclear war that breaks out. Not that one. The one that I'm talking about has like a moon on the cover, and it's about an asteroid that everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's an asteroid that's gonna hit Earth." And then instead of hitting Earth, it hits the moon, and everyone's like, "Oh, thank God, Earth is saved." But actually, the asteroid moved the moon too close to the Earth, and so it threw off, like, the tides, and that threw off the weather, and it becomes like a new ice age, like, it just gets really bad, and so that was a very scary read, but it was, definitely a post-apocalyptic read, and yeah, it was terrifying. I read it, I think I was in high school, and I remember, or no, I was in college, because my mom, is a middle school librarian, and so she would often have me read her book, like, the books she was buying for the library, to see if, it was okay for her middle schoolers. It's called Life as We Knew It. Yes, Life as We Knew It. And I remember, like, laying on the floor, reading it, and being like, "We gotta go to the grocery store and buy canned food. Like, I gotta learn first aid." Um, it was one of those. So it was very, very scary. Life as We Knew It by Susan Beth Pfeffer, Pfeffer. Life as We Knew It. It looks like, oh no, I just remembered this camera's bad. It looks like this. Life as We Knew It. If you're scared of asteroid stuff, don't read it. What did I study in college? Communications, which is very broad, but it was like I took a lot of marketing and film classes, and like communicate we studied a lot about like social media and stuff like that. And then totally randomly, I happened to have enough classes just by like what I took as my like history and language stuff. I happened to have enough credits to double major, and so East Asian Studies is my other major. So communications and East Asian Studies. Yeah, yeah. Binge-worthy series, every series I read, I binge. Um, I don't know. I guess, like, I always just fall back on the Grishaverse. That's the one that I always do. Enjoy cleaning your flat. I need to clean mine as well. Have I watched Crash Landing on You? If you go to my main channel, Carrie Cakes, which is linked either below, or it's linked if you go to my channel here, and there's like a channel tab on my profile. I did a full reaction. I binge watched it and I did a reaction. So if you want to watch me watch Crash Landing on You, I had a great time. You can watch it there. I did see Wylan, and I don't believe that he is real. That jaw, something about like his jaw and his eyes, like he looks like he was made by a computer. Um, and I mean that as a compliment. So, audiobooks, I can pretty much only do nonfiction audiobooks because it reminds me of a podcast. I have tried, I read, what's it called? The person who wrote The Ghost Bride also wrote another fantasy, and I listened to that. But other than that, for some reason for me, it has to be, nonfiction. So, sorry. He does kinda look like an owl, like a baby owl. Very cute. I don't have a PO box. Korea is kinda weird, and in order to get a PO box, you need to have, like, a guaranteed amount of mail sent to that PO box every month, or else you lose it. So if you, like, aren't popular, you have to give your PO box back. So I don't have one, but Thank you for even thinking of me. It's very nice. Me. The Bone season, is the second one out yet? Because I'm not reading. Oh, wait, can we talk about, has anybody read, is it called The Black Witch? Have we talked about this? I feel like I'm pretty quiet about my love of this series, but The Black Witch series. The final book was supposed to come out in November, and then she pushed it back to December, then January, then February, and now maybe March. Yes, thank you. The Demon Tide. We're waiting. Yeah, I'm losing my mind. Absolutely losing my mind. Do I have to scan my bus? Yeah, you scan your bus card getting on and off of the bus in Seoul. Because it like calculates how far you go. And then if you get off and you get on to another thing, like a bus or a subway, within a 30-minute window, it counts as a transfer, so you don't have to pay again. Does that make? Yeah. Yes. I have heard so much about Arcane. If you guys know Christy-Ann Jones, the booktuber who I love so much, she went wild over it, and I trust her, so I will watch it. But yes, I am going to talk more about Black Swans. I haven't 100% finished it, but I've read most of it. I'll talk about it in my next video, but ironically, I liked the introduction more than I liked the actual stories. The woman who wrote the introduction did an amazing job. So I can't do reading sprints. I'm like a long distance runner when it comes to reading. Like I need to read an hour minimum at a time. Like if I only have 20 minutes to pass the time, I can't pick up a book. I need an entire day. So Jade City, I have heard great things, also on my list. And my writing is going. That's all I can say. So, yeah. And actually, we have passed the 1 hour mark. So I think I also need to go. Kurt will be home any second. So I'm going to leave. But I guess this time was really good. Like if it seems like a lot of you guys were able to join. So that's really cool. So I'll definitely try and do another one of these. Sorry for kind of the late notice. I will hopefully let you guys know earlier next time. And if I don't do it here, I like to do Instagram lives. So if you want to follow my Instagram, we can do that too. I usually do lives on my Cari Cakes Instagram. Cari and then CAKEZ. That's where I do my lives. Sometimes Kurt is in them. We paint together. But yeah, so that's true. You can do hour-long sprints, can't you? Well, we'll talk about it. Maybe we'll try one. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Do I have anything else to say? No. Right? No. Good luck with all of your tests. Good luck with all the stuff that you were supposed to be doing, but you joined me instead. And yeah, I will catch you later. I don't know how to end this, so there might be an awkward pause, but I love you all. Okay, bye.